Hey everyone, today I've got your Blade Runner 2049 movie review. A Blade Runner is on a mission that leads him to an original Blade Runner. What other mysteries will he unravel? So as far as the story goes, Denis Villeneuve directs this sequel of science fiction and post-apocalyptic proportions that leaves you guessing until the very end. There seems to be this deeper meaning of the main character's possible origins, for example, and it's definitely a new concept that I'm not sure if this was one of the reasons why this movie wasn't as well received by audiences, and I actually don't know the reason why people didn't seem to care for this movie that much, because after it came out, it seemed like people were very mixed about it, and there were other various concepts being explored in this movie than maybe what we had previously seen from the 1982 film, and I actually did enjoy that movie when it came out, and maybe, yeah, it's a little bit dated, but I still think for the concepts that were being made, it was ahead of its time. And even this one, you are still seeing a lot of these science fiction movies coming out, and I think it really was an impressive film for what it is. It was a very different story than what we had previously known. There was nothing wrong with that. So as far as the casting goes, you've got Ryan Gosling, who is a newcomer to this film series, and he plays Kay, and other times he refers to himself as Joe, and he's, I guess, this Blade Runner. Like him, some people don't. I think he does hold his own in this movie, even though I'm not a huge fan of him as an actor, but I think in this movie, I thought he really brought his A-game in this movie, and especially with some of the things that he had to deal with, because his character's backstory, you're kind of guessing, does he have a bigger part to play in all of this, whatever he's investigating? Is he basically investigating himself secretly, but he doesn't know it yet? But then he ends up going to look for another Blade Runner in the form of Harrison Ford, who returns once again as Rick Deckard, and, obviously he's sort of isolated in this post-apocalyptic environment. It's all orange, and something happened, and, he's alone, but people are, possibly after him as well. And I'm thinking it's really cool to see him returning once again to this character like he did with Han Solo for Star Wars, and then possibly another final performance as Indiana Jones. And, I thought they made a pretty good pair, and seeing them on screen, even though we didn't get to see him until at least an hour into the film. And then you've got Ana de Armas, who plays Joy, and I guess people can compare her to Scarlett Johansson's character in the movie Her, where she's this, I guess, she's not human, and she's this, like, artificial intelligence, but she can also turn into a hologram, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of what happened in Total Recall, so it kind of has some similarities to that. And even though, some people might be conflicted about her acting performance or acting capabilities in general, but I think she did at least a decent job in this movie, so I thought it was really cool to see her here. And then you've got Jared Leto, who I'm very confused about who he's really supposed to be. Is he a replicant? Is he a human? Is he trying to play God? I mean, he's just a very interesting character, and then he's, like, blind on top of it, and I heard what he actually had to do to get into this role. He actually tried to blind himself, and I thought that was really crazy. I mean, you're already wearing the foggy contact lenses. I think that's enough. And we all know he can be a very method actor with his roles, and, he definitely was intimidating on screen, so I think it was really crazy to see him in this movie, as well as Sylvia Hoeks, who plays Love, was kind of like a henchwoman sort of person. She's like an assassin type chick, like she's like definitely all but in a good way, because she's like this bad chick, and she's not the only chick in this movie. Obviously, decent performances by Robin Wright and even Dave Bautista, so it was really cool to see a very well-rounded cast. Now, the things that I liked about this movie was, right off the bat, the stunning visual effects, which included a reintroduction to a past character. No spoilers unless you've seen the movie. And I thought like that was really cool to see, because I heard that that happened. So I thought that was also just pretty impressive as far as the use of technology goes and how much we have advanced in that aspect. And then the musical score, which haunts as well as bring nostalgia to the movie. And I'm talking to you, Vangelis. The mind-blowing cinematography just really pulled this whole movie together, and it was definitely an achievement in itself. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that while it might not be completely necessary to have seen the first Blade Runner movie, some parts of the film were really confusing. At times it was hard to follow. You know, I don't know if it was just because the story wasn't, you know, properly explained, and I would have liked to have been able to, you know, figure things out right away, even though I did enjoy some of the whole mystery aspect of the film with all of the suspense and twists. But that is another reason for me to see this movie multiple times again. Overall, I would say the Blade Runner 2049, while it did have things that I really loved about this movie, things that I liked about it, there were obviously some things that were amiss for me, but I would still recommend seeing this movie, whether or not you have seen the first Blade Runner movie, even though I think it sort of all goes well together as far as a continuity aspect goes. So I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Blade Runner 2049, and as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come every week for a Trial Thursday video. You guys can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.